guys, it's Zach from Engadget. We are here at Computex 2012 at THD's booth. You may not be familiar with THD. It stands for Thread Technology Company, or Corporation rather. We assume it's based here in Taiwan, but it's an OEM, and so they manufacture devices that other companies will rebrand. One such device is called the N2-A, and it looks pretty familiar. It looks a lot like the MacBook Air, the 13-inch MacBook Air like I have right over here. And so putting the MacBook Air right on top of it, they're very, very similar in size even. I'm not going to do it right now, but you can take a look at our galleries and we have some photos. But very, very similar design. Major difference here is that this device is running Ice Cream Sandwich. So Android 4.0.3 ICS on here. And you control ICS using the trackpad and the keyboard. There's no touchpad, or no touchscreen rather. The only input devices here, we have the touchpad, the keyboard, and then you can also bring in your own mouse. And it actually works quite a bit better with the mouse than it does with the built-in input devices. So stock ICS here, no surprises at all. Pretty decent performance. The other major difference between these two is that this guy here costs $149. And so $149 compared to probably about 10 times the price for the configuration we have here of the MacBook Air. 13-inch display. We have 802.11 Wi-Fi. The display is 1366 by 768, so it's a 16:9 display, WXGA. It's running an A10 ARM Cortex A8 processor at 1.2 gigahertz. We have either, you can get it with 8 gigs, 16 gigs, or 32 gigs of storage. There's a 3G dongle option and SD. Over here on the right side, I'll go through the ports. We can start on the left. You may notice the MagSafe light connector. We don't have the little LED indicator right here like you would on the MacBook Air, but otherwise it looks virtually identical. We have 4 pins here, just like on the MacBook Air. It's magnet-based, and it's looks identical to the MagSafe connector. I wouldn't recommend putting this on the MacBook Air though. I was tempted to try it a moment ago, and probably not a good idea. USB port over here. We have a headphone jack. Let me disconnect the mouse. Over here on the other side we have another USB port. We have a display output, and then we have that SDXC card reader. Now going around to the back, no Apple logo and no Android logo. I think the Android logo would look pretty nice right there with my Android glowing in from the display. The back looks identical as well to the MacBook Air, so same design down there. We have some ventilation ports here. It looks like a fan down there. Identical bottom to the MacBook Air, as far as even going so far as the number of screws and the screw placement. So looks like it was definitely inspired, if not an exact duplicate of the MacBook Air. But no Apple logo, like we said, and it's running ICS. Also $149. And so it's an OEM device. You won't be able to pick one up in stores with THD branding. But they were even willing to sell this one to me tomorrow. So it says $149, and you could theoretically get it now. One other thing to point out, there's a Windows key right there. And so they have an identical computer over there that's running Windows 8. Some different specs on there. It has an Intel and a dual-core processor. You obviously, the computer doesn't respond when you press this Windows key. That's just a bonus if you're a huge Microsoft fan. But generally smooth performance, no issues. A pretty cool form factor for ICS. We could definitely see using something like this. And again, it's $149, so you can't really go wrong.